why is there a widespread recession mindset with global companies behaving as though there is already a recession? Will that cause a recession to start sooner and last longer? I think so the conference board conducts for the U.S. A poll of CEOs, CEO confidence, basically, that we do on a quarterly basis, and the question, the person who asked the question is right. About 91% of CEOs that we poll here in the U.S. expect a recession over the next year or so. Overwhelmingly, they expect to see a short and mild recession. So it's only a small share that expects something more severe. But I think the underlying driver here is that we had a period over the pandemic with a lot of sort of fiscal and monetary support in the U.S. vis-a-vis low interest rates and checks that were sent out, fiscal money that was used to prop up businesses and things like that, which created a lot of which helped to create some inflation, which is what we're sort of grappling with now. There are other factors, of course, that play into that inflation story too, but there's a pretty clear path right now that we're on here in the U.S. and in a lot of other countries as well, where interest rates are rising rapidly to address that inflation. And so I think a lot of businesses and a lot of business leaders who are really well attuned to the financial markets and use them, to finance investment or whose goods and services are sensitive to interest rates. Car manufacturers, for instance, most people finance their vehicles, so they look at this closely. And I think what their outlook and their view about the slowdown and the recession is sort of built in on top of these monetary policy and interest rate movements. Klaas, does that hold water? I think with a lot of other major economies that we're kind of pessimistic about as well.
Yeah, no, I think it's an interesting point. It can become a little bit self-fulfilling as well. There have been some economists who've pointed this out. The importance of narrative in economics, and it can, if there's a lot of negative narrative, then it can become self-fulfilling. But yeah, I think, Erik, as you explained, for some of the key regions like the US, there's a pretty clear worry, about inflation, about monetary policy becoming very rapidly hawkish. This is, I understand the worries in that sense. And in Europe, obviously, we'll see that in a second, but there's this huge energy crunch, which has been going on for a while already. So I do see where the concern is coming from.